What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I am here to hopefully spread a little bit of good news and assuage a few fears, because I want to talk about how the Digimon trading card game is doing absolutely fine, and it's not going anywhere. Every 5 minutes over on the Facebook group, somebody says blah, 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 blah. And that's why the game is going to fail. No, ladies and gentlemen, let's be perfectly clear. I am not saying that the Digimon trading card game will be around forever. I can't say that, and neither can you. I absolutely am saying that it is in as good a position as basically any trading card game we've seen outside of the big three, Pokemon, Magic, and Yu-Gi-Oh!, and that there is absolutely no reason whatsoever to be even remotely concerned about the health of this game. It's doing great. But rather than just tell you it's doing great and then leave 10 minutes of silence, why don't we go through some reasons why we are sure it is doing absolutely fine. Reason number one, releases are coming thick and fast. So, BT7. I showed you the mock-up of the box image. I told you that BT7 was coming in January. We have just seen the release of BT4, Great Legend. Just dropped. And we've already seen that BT7 is confirmed, or kind of confirmed. It's not actually confirmed, but we've seen distributor listings. We know it's coming out in January. And we've actually got that special EXO1 set, which is coming along in December. What that means is, not only are we on to our 7th main set, but we've also got kind of a special retro-themed set in there as well. By the time we hit January, we're on 8 sets. And you can talk all you like about whether the sets are coming out too thick and fast. I've heard a few people say that. And if you want to make that criticism, if that's how you feel, that is absolutely fair. I love talking about new cards and buying new cards, although there are some months where my wallet is crying. I had to wait about a month to pick up the second lot of starter decks because there were just too many cards to buy. But the one thing this shows is that it's doing well, because here's the thing. When card games aren't doing well, and this goes back to my experience as a professional business teacher and the mountains of research I've done on various businesses, you don't release loads of products when you're doing poorly. You don't do it. Because you've got all the manufacturing costs, you've got all of the marketing costs, etc. It's not a good thing. You might do one last big product to try and spark the game, but with BT4 just out, you don't have BT5, BT6, BT7, and EXO1 all on the horizon already, all ready to go. You don't do that. That's not a good idea. That is terrible business acumen. So frankly, the fact that we've got so many releases already queued up shows essentially Bandai are in the stage at the moment where they are getting into a cadence. They're ticking along. There's regular releases. If we go back to the Transformers trading card game, a game that I covered from beginning to end, a game that I absolutely loved and have a huge amount of time for, we knew that was ending. When Titan Masters Attack was revealed, which was the final set that launched, I was expecting it to launch with a, oh yeah, and the game's over announcement. And it launched with an, oh yeah, the game's over announcement. And this isn't because I'm some massive clairvoyant. It is because releases had been getting more and more sporadic. We'd been hearing less and less. We'd been waiting for a while. And essentially, it was over. The writing was on the wall. Anyone that was paying attention, and again, I'm not expecting everyone to be paying attention on the level that I am with the whole, business background, you knew that Transformers was on the way out. It had all of the signs. That is not where we are with Digimon at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Digimon is going well. And while we're here, a very related point is, it's going really well in Japan as well. See, that's the other thing. When you've got a game like Digimon, which is linked in Japan and Europe, US, North America, etc., it's generally a sign of a healthier game. Because you see, when you link these games, it takes a lot more time, a lot more effort, a lot more money, a lot more resources. It is difficult to do. And it is something you only do when you are sure. If anybody is wondering why it took a little while for Digimon to come over here, why we didn't have a simultaneous launch with Japan, and again, I don't work for Bandai, I don't actually know, but I can make a pretty educated guess. It was a wait-and-see approach. Bandai went and launched the game in Japan, and then they waited. They wanted to know how well it was going to do. They wanted to know if it was actually worth it. And Digimon crushed in Japan. And because Digimon crushed in Japan, that meant that it was worth bringing it out over here. They waited to see if it was going to do well. It did. And I know that one of the main complaints I see about Digimon is I can never find stock. Well, I hate to break it to you, ladies and gentlemen, but the game is so popular, I can't find any product on the shelves. It's really not a sign that a card game is dying or doing badly. It is, in fact, the exact opposite. It is proof that the card game is absolutely crushing. Now, the good news is that Digimon have, and by Digimon I mean Bandai, the people that run Digimon, they have come out on a number of occasions and talked about how they are increasing supply. And this is an excellent, excellent piece of news. And they're going to keep doing so. And I hear a lot from people, Bandai don't care, Bandai aren't listening. Well, they are though, aren't they? Like, if we're honest. Because not only are they increasing supply, but they're also explicitly coming out and telling us about this. They are coming out and saying, hey, just so we're clear, we are doing reprints and things along those lines. And that's good news, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely good news indeed. Now, the other thing I do want to point out, and it is very related to the point we're making here, do please bear in mind that things are getting better. Like, I'm with you. There was a time when I really wanted to buy a box of 1.0 and I couldn't. There's a time when I really wanted to buy a box of 1.5 and I couldn't. However, that's not where we are at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. That's really not where we are. There are plenty of shops out there. Now, Playscape Games is a shop I'm a fan of, although, let's be clear, I like the dude that runs it. I think it's a cool store. I am in no way, shape, or form affiliated with them, and they are not sponsoring this video. This is not a sponsored video. We good? Good. Right now, at the moment, they have got booster boxes of 1.0 and 1.5 in stock. Just sitting there, ready to buy. And they're not the only ones. I just wanted to give an example, and that's a store that I like and I use, so I liked giving them as an example. So it's a lot better than it used to be. But when stock isn't available, that actually tells us pretty clearly that the game is doing extremely well. And I mean, just these 2 points alone, right? The fact that it is selling massively and continually being restocked, and the fact that new expansions are coming pretty regularly, and the fact that it is linked in Japan and that game is going well as well. This tells you basically everything you need to know in terms of how well the game is going. But there's kind of a more subtle way we can tell, although I don't know if it's really much more subtle, but I've said it now and I'm sticking with it. And if you've been watching this channel regularly, you'll know a lot of stuff is going on with Digimon lately. Like, an awful lot of stuff is going on with Digimon lately. Every couple of days, I seem to be doing another lot of videos about all kinds of news. Over in Japan, we had those memorial packs that were gone and been revealed. Now, I don't know how we're getting them over here. Incidentally, there's no news, but they're coming, and that's kind of cool. We've got a whole bunch of webcam tournaments, like the, that Evolution Cup, which has got the Agumon promo, if you get top 64. And there's a bunch of webcam tournaments. I'm not going to go through the whole list. But Digimon are doing regular webcam tournaments in multiple regions. They're doing North American, they're doing European, etc. And there's a whole bunch of official sleeves coming out. And it just keeps coming. We've just seen that at Gen Con there's a Grand Prix with a whole bunch of promos, sleeves, etc., all culminating in an All Force Vidramon promo if you make it all the way to top 8. And it just keeps coming. And that's the thing. If you really want to know how well a game is doing, look at how the company running it is acting. When Transformers was on the way out, and you could have said the same thing about Star Wars Destiny and a bunch of other games, when they're on the way out, you'll notice that the gap between releases tends to get a little bit longer. You don't get a bunch of accessories revealed like you might have done earlier on in the lifespan of the game. Tournaments start slowing down, and all we've seen for the Digimon TCG is a ramp up. We've seen more sets, we've seen extra sets outside of the main sets, webcam tournaments, promos, accessories. Every single sign is pointing to the Digimon TCG not doing well, not doing all right, but absolutely crushing. And when I see people going, oh, it's been sold out in my local area for a couple of months, game's not going to last. Or I see things like, oh, that's a good promo, game's not going to last. I understand that people have frustrations with the games. No card game is perfect. There are things about the game that have frustrated me. I tell you honestly on this channel when these things happen. I'm a very honest dude. I tell you when things are cool. I tell you when things are not. But you'll notice that my coverage of Digimon has been overwhelmingly positive, because essentially we've got this really cool game that's super fun, getting lots of regular releases, the gameplay is evolving nicely, there's official webcam tournaments because we can't play in person, great prize support, alternate art promos, and so much that we can look at it and go, oh, it's going well. And I know that shortly after posting this, I'm going to see somebody in the Facebook group going, and that's why the game isn't going to last. Well, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but anybody making those predictions is frankly not paying attention. This game is doing very, very well indeed. It probably will die one day. Most games do. The likelihood is that one day it will be gone. But if you're trying to foretell that day, you might want to adjust your projections a little bit into the future. That's what I'm thinking anyway, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you like about the game? What about the game has been good for you? Tell me why you're loving the game. Let's see if we can keep it positive. We'll have to wait and see. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.